Hey guys, and how's it going? I think it's time that we revisit my old friend here that doesn't want to run well. This is a marine outboard engine from 1910, 1920 that I picked up and supposedly lovingly restored and donated to the museum and then sold at auction at a later date. There's two videos on this engine, two videos of me trying to get it running. I got it running both times, but it ran horrible. And each time we get into it, we find a little bit more. So, I'm up for the task one more time. And let's see if we can fix some of the things that ail it and see if we can get it to do what it's supposed to do. This is the tag that was attached to it, pretty much saying a well-restored Gile, 2-cycle single-cylinder marine engine, 2 horsepower. And where does it say something about a well-restored? That's what I was thinking of. That was like lovingly restored. A well-restored, yeah. A well-painted. All right. So, what's actually wrong with it? So, on the first one, we just kind of went through the fuel system, cleaned the fuel system. I had a magneto on it. We figured out how to get spark on that. A couple other things. It was missing grease caps. It didn't have any grease caps, I think, here. So that is on a 2-stroke, is kind of seals the bottom half of the engine. The bottom half of the engine is used as the reservoir, we'll call it, lack of better terms, of the air fuel mix. It goes into the bottom of the engine and flips around, gets pushed to the top and gets burnt. And it also lubricates the bottom. Well, if you have a crank leak on the bottom, the air fuel mix goes out the window. So it was missing a grease injector, grease cup, that as you rotate it, it packs grease into where the bearing is. And also, there is a vent on the crank somewhere. Here it is. You can see a piece of hose and a tap down in there. That was wide open to atmosphere too, so that wasn't helping the situation at all. Took care of that, took care of the grease fittings, took care of spark, cleaned. It's not really called a carburetor, it's called a mixer, or I forget the other name for it. I'll get corrected 900 times. Went through this, kind of figured out how it kind of worked, trying to figure out how to zero it in. Got it to run. It would only rev. It would rev. You couldn't adjust the air fuel mix at all. It would just run away and then die. And so you couldn't really maintain and get it to putt at an idle, which, yeah, at some point you really should. So that was the first video. Second video, we went into it further, chased some other things. Actually got some of the pieces that were missing and got it to run better, but still ran like crap. Finally took the cylinder off. The cylinder is one piece. There's not like a cylinder head that you take off, and then there's the jug and there's the piston. Took the cylinder off. We found out there was no base gasket, and then worse than that is we found that there was no top ring. There's two rings on the piston. One of them is missing, and then on the cylinder itself is a big corroded spot, probably in about 1/8 inch or so, 1/4 inch, where it sat probably for a long time with water and just rotted the inside of the cylinder out. So it was down on compression. After that, comments were written that the piston is in backwards. So that's another issue that's with it. Let's just start taking it apart. And we've got some stuff already repaired. But let's go see, look into the cylinder. Let's just go see where the journey takes us. Let's go have some fun wrenching it in the garage. When I took it apart, after I was done, I just kind of threw it back together so the screws are all half-assed. This is the water pump. Should probably get the bottom off first. The engine's water cooled. It's a boat, so well, it's a boat engine. So it just has a little pump on the side on the cam, and as the engine spins, probably just drew water right from the bottom of the boat, and then it has an outlet. I'm not sure which one's which. Is inlet and outlet. I would think this would be the inlet. I'm not sure. And the other just dumped it with the side of the boat when it was done. Like a little rod bearing cap. I should get that out of the way. Let's see, you can control it. I wonder if you use that. Might just be a bleeder, huh? Maybe that's just a drain to get the water out of it when you're not using it. Yeah, lovingly restored. Well restored. I embellished. When you see the inside, or if you've seen the inside, you know what I'm talking about. Then afterwards they put it together and are like, I don't want this piece of crap. It runs like crap. Let's donate it, get rid of it. That's the pump. I don't know if I would have a seal up in there, or a plunger, or a piece of leather. Actually looks like there's something there, huh? What's that? Anything? Maybe it goes here. Like a packing for there. It just seals the bottom of it. Yeah, you tighten down on that maybe. And it squeezes. Still pliable. That's good. And you crunch down on that and it seals the bottom half of the cylinder. Or the piston. Alright. Let's get the cylinder head off. There's not much that seems to hold it together. Yeah, they're not even tight. And this is the exhaust manifold. I don't remember if there was an issue with that or not. I forget. I should go back and watch the video before I start working on this one, huh? So I know where I left off. And I got this for another project. The whole idea was to try to use this for something else that looked elderly, shall we say. Piece of machinery. And it just doesn't want to play well. So you're better off buying a $50 motor. Have to do everything anyway instead of one that was painted. This was $300. It's not terrible, you know. It's still got a value as an old engine, but it just isn't what it was represented as, you know. Oh well. If it ran fine, we wouldn't have anything to make a video of, would we? All right, back up a little bit. We'll pop that jug right off of there. I think we're all set. Here you go. So it's got big old cast iron rings. There's one, but there is no other. I don't know. Yeah, there's a locating pin right there. It's up and over it right there. So one issue is that it doesn't have crap for compression, I would think, because of that. We'd say just go put a ring on there and the problem's solved. And that's not the case, because what happened, like I said earlier, the cylinder, I'll show you in a minute, it's got a big corroded spot right here. So even if you put a ring on it, it's not going to hold, the compression is just going to leak right around it as soon as the piston gets up that high. So there's that, and the other thing on this was people were saying the piston is on backwards, that this should be on this side, and that would definitely cause a run issue also. So that's something fairly easy to correct. We'll take a look at the inside of the cylinder, see if that does anything for us. I think we need to make a gasket. I think we were missing a base gasket, so we can tap one of those out on the jug. That shouldn't be any big deal. And let's go get you set up so where you can see down inside the cylinder. See the carnage over there. It's gonna be freehand, so it'll be a little shaky, but you get the idea. Try to put the light where it doesn't blind you guys out. But you can look right here on the wall, right there. That's the issue. And it goes all the way around. Most of the damage, like I said, is right there, and then more further up, but that doesn't matter because the piston doesn't travel up that far. So I think we should measure, but I think the bottom ring is like right on it, going around. So let's go see where that kind of stops. Either that or the bottom ring is a little bit more below it. The problem is, how would you go about fixing that? You know, you can chuck it up on a lathe, bore it, sleeve it. But the biggest thing that I find with trying to do any repair on this is that the cylinder head is a part of it. It's all cast one piece. And this is, don't forget, this is a water jacket going around it. So it's not that as thick as you would think it is. Well, so many parts for a 110-year-old engine. AutoZone. Yeah. So let's go measure how far down that is. We'll measure the top ring on the piston first, that top dead center, and we'll go from there. And let's get that at top dead center. I think we're right there, actually. And let's see what it takes to. So to the top of that ring is 6 inches, a hair over 6. And we'll call it 6 1/8. And then to the top one is where were we? 6, and we're going to call it a little over 6 1/2 to the top of that one. Let's see where they end up in the bore, and if it's even worth trying to make one for that, or even move the one that's there maybe. Not sure if I'm going to get you up over the top of it. It should work. All right, so the full, let's just go to where that mark is. Let me just go set the ruler. So that's 6 right there. And I think 6 is like right in the trouble zone, right? Yeah. 6. Yeah, it's right in that groove, right? So right where that's at is right where that bottom ring is sitting now. And then if we go to 6 1/2, a little over 6 1/2, right there. We're in something, but it doesn't look, I don't know, you think maybe, yeah, I'm afraid of rubbing that ring over the top of that damage, you know? Not that we can't stone it, but who wants to JV weld it and hone it and put the ring up higher, see what happens? I just think the temperature is going to be too hot. It's just going to burn away. What we got to lose? Yeah, so like that crater right there is just ridiculous. There's no yeah, compression's leaking right around it. Let's go throw a stone in it. Yeah, let's go do that. Let's go throw a honing stone in it. We'll kind of clean it up, get a better idea of, you know, where the pattern kind of touches and doesn't touch, just so it gives us a little bit better visual maybe. That's about as close up I think as I can get you on it. Let's go. New stones. Nice to have new stones. I'm gonna have some little marble mystery we'll use for the cutting wheel. A little foot cylinder. Low gear. We'll slow down. Slow your roll. Chattering so much. A little faster, it'll go away. Too well. Let's see if I'm making any kind of difference. Get it with a nice clean rag. Let's see what we got. That's a little better. Use a little more out here. Hasn't improved it much. I think it was gonna, but yeah, still the same. What am I gonna do? Just play. All right, so in my stash, got some taro putty, steel reinforced, and it hardens in about 2 minutes. I think it's good for in about 3 hours. I don't know how much of this you're gonna be able to see. You can freeze that if you want to read it, but good to 500 degrees. Best adhesion, clean, rough and air prior to application. Twist off desired amount. Knead with the fingers and squish it into the repair. Repair should be in place before the hardening begins. Usually within 2 minutes, material can be drilled, filled, tapped, machined, etc. After 3 hours, for a smooth finish, for a smooth surface, rub with tap water or use a damp tool cloth to prior to hardening. For water applications, stuff it in a hole and hold pressure on it. And we got permanent repairs to engine blocks. I'm going with that. Manifold, well, it's kind of a manifold too. Gas tank, radiator, batteries, gaskets, mufflers, exhaust system. It's an exhaust system. Plastic grills, mirror holes. Strip screw. I don't know if it's going to like having rings slide up over it, but I think we got nothing to lose, and I don't think it's really going to hurt anything if it does pop out. You know, it's pretty much whatever damage is done is damage is done. Let's clean the cylinder up really good, get all the oil and contaminant out of there as much as I can. I'm going to go in there probably with like a Scotch-Brite and clean where that groove is all the way around. We'll mix them up. We'll squish some in there, and then we'll let it harden up. I'll probably let it harden up overnight, you know, come back to this tomorrow maybe, and we can run the hone through it and we'll cut it down to a round shape. That's the best guess that I can come up with, and we put together, see what we get. Maybe you move that ring to the top, who knows. Maybe we can try both. Got a plan. I don't give it much hope, but we got a plan. Now that I oiled it up nicely, yeah, get rid of all the oil. Probably go over it with heat too. Bake out what's in there. Now I'm going to scuff them up. I'll probably do the same to that, and I'll run a torch in there and burn up if there's any oil around, also in the pores. Try to burn that out of there. A little flash. You get the idea. This ought to be a fun reach. We need to go to the ferrule. trying to get whatever rust. I still see a little bit more rust in that, so I'm going to work on that a little bit more. Looks like 80% of it's dug out of there, but I can still see, I don't know if you guys can see it or not, some rust that's in those voids. I ended up going with a actually smaller wire wheel, and it was allowed to, the other one was so large, wherever the void was, it couldn't sink down in it and dig it out. So using a little one did really good. The only problem is it made it look even worse. Like, look where we saw the damage, then now look at the rest of it. The next 2 inches up is, you know, it dug all the crap out of the pores. So I still say we go forward with what we were planning on. Yeah, it's just, I wonder if there's a way to cage you on the end of the wall. You get the idea. I'll send you down like a well in a bucket. You can go down there and look for me and come back and report. Yeah, if the head came off the other side, it'd be so much easier to work with, but it is what it is, right? I was wondering if maybe I should like make a piece of something so I can pack the stuff in there and then just like stick my hand over like a piece of plastic or soda can or something like that to kind of push against the wall to give it as round a form as possible. Wish I could put like wax paper over the piston and jam it down in there, but I don't know. I'll figure it out. Take my thumb off. That was next to impossible. We'll see. That hurt the thumbs. Just take them off, it'd be fine. Me and Larry had that set up. Apologize for the fan noise in the background, that's the heat going. But this is the next day. See where it just dried up and the rust that's already formed. But down there, looks pretty ugly, don't it? Let's go see what happens. It may just chip right off the walls, or you may be able to grind it away. I'm gonna go lap it with oil again and see how it comes out. Let's go give her a little liberal amount of that. Just making a mess. Sounds good, don't it? I don't know how well that stuff's gonna wanna. So I'll bring you back when I'm through with that, see what it looks like. So So it actually took longer than expected. I probably was about a good 20 minutes. I worked on that. Rinse it out, do it again, rinse it out. And the stones would get kind of like gummy after a while, because again, it's not metal. But it smoothed out fairly well. There's some areas there that still have a void, like right around there. You can kind of see where the putty, I didn't have enough in there. But you can definitely see where the low spots have been filled in, especially that big crater, which was that one right there, since most of that one has filled in. I think we'll leave that alone. We'll put it together. We'll see how it runs and see if that stuff just burns right away, which I expect it to do, actually. But, you know, again, you don't know till you experiment a little bit. So I say we can kind of move forward. Let's go make ourselves a base gasket for this. And we still have to spin that piston around. Anyway, we'll get the jug back on there, see if we can get any kind of compression out of it. Well, next thing is to flip that piston around. And I guess the idea is, this is the intake side. Air fuel charge comes in on this side and goes up. I was thinking, and so the exhaust port is what's blocked. I was thinking it kind of gave time for the air fuel mix ball to kind of rotate around. And what people are saying is, if this slip is on this side, when the charge comes in, it throws it up and over, and the idea is to evacuate the exhaust port, I think. I think that's what was kind of the common thread of why it's the wrong direction. So we're gonna flip it around and see what that does for us. It has a wrist pin that has a pin, it looks like that holds it right there. To what the holds, you know, the pin from coming out. As I'm looking at it, that is a nail. Remember, this is well restored. And that goes through the, I don't know if it's showing up in the dark, but that goes in through the center of the pin. Focused. And then it's just bent over. So I'm going to unbend that, see if we can get that out of there, get the pin out, and we'll inspect what that stuff looks like. Yeah, sometimes the stuff that you find in old equipment just amazes me. Well, someone's going to find JB Weld another 100 years when they open this one up. So, who am I to talk, right? I don't know if these pliers are going to have enough balls to be able to... I guess we can get it facing towards us. a nail. Alright. It has to go out the other direction because the other side got a big old fat thumb on it. So it's got to go that way. I'm going to tap on it a little bit. It seems like it probably hits. I'm going to go clean the surface up and then see if it get it out of there. Oh, yeah. Hit it with a socket. More. Come on. That's a little on the cruddy side, huh? Any major surprises here? That's sticking out. Oh, that's the locating pin for the ring. That's that right there. So we want to go like that. No, that pin was the same size on each side. I thought one side was fatter than the other. Just all the crap that was in there. Yeah, look at the rust that's in the middle of that. Let's go clean this up and get a better idea what that looks like, what we're dealing with. That doesn't look good, does it? After a shot with the wire wheel. Yeah. That's a good shape, huh? Got like hieroglyphics built into it. That's about what the bottom of the jug looks like too. I know it wasn't showing up on with that other light that was in there, but that's what's happening up inside the cylinder too. All that big pitting like that. Well, that at least we can replace if we need to. That and just put a new. Or make a bushing for the top. There's no bushing in there? I don't think so. Mushroomed over, huh? Well, it only moves in the rod, so the only area that matters is the dead center. But again, it is what it is, right? All right, let me go get that cleaned up a little bit, flipped over, see if we can find a new nail. And we'll put it back together. How do you hang out on the other side of me? Yeah, new nail. Nothing's too good for my baby. Get that in there. Now I gotta kick that sucker over. Falls out. Yeah, man. I don't exactly think I could have that facing outward though. That might not be a good idea. The nail scraping up and down the piston walls. What about that socket? Can we, or a little smaller one, we'll stick a socket in there. And give it a couple of whacks. That'll probably work for us. Fold it over. Support everything with my hand. Get up there. As long as it can't spin around. Or spin around and touch the wall. I don't think so. I think we're good. It can fall out. I'm going to give that a couple more love taps. I'll get a regular punch and get in around an angle. That's all set, but it's got a bunch of oil sitting in the bottom of the crankcase. That's what that drain is for. See if we can. That should just be all the oil that separated from the gas. things are ridiculous as far as their oil to fuel ratio. But it looks like it's probably a common thing. Maybe it just ends up actually having a bit of a pool of oil in there when it's running, and that's why it has, or had, it's supposed to have, with that easy out is on the bottom. That's where the drain is. You can make one of them too, but for now, yeah, it's quite a bit. For now, it's going to run the easy out. You can hang out with the nail. All right. Let's see about getting a cylinder back on it with a new gasket, and let's see if we can get compression. This goes together for us. Get the throttle whatever away. Now there's a pin on the piston. And our gasket can hang out down there. Let this old man put his glasses on, so it could have one less excuse if he screws it up. Let's go. I'm gonna go dab some. Need a little bit of oil. You know where there's any oil? I know where there's oil. Now that on the cylinder. Look at that. Put it right back in it, from where it once came. Wouldn't want to scratch it, you know. Going in. It's not exactly light, I can tell you that. I have a ring compressor if we need it. I'm not sure. There it goes. Won't kill my gasket. Ooh. Come on. Nobody wants to play well with me. I think that's it. The gasket's a little askew. Gotta go. The gasket's gotta go counterclockwise just a tad. Come on, move. Maybe if you use a bolt to influence our chances a little. Getting kind of close, aren't you? All right, throw those in. Tighten them down. I'll get a plug. Actually, probably just put a thumb over it and we'll see how it feels. All right, the moment of truth. We'll just see if it spins first. Yeah, it's got something. It doesn't feel too bad. It actually feels like it built some compression. I wonder if the intake, I don't remember how this was working now. I think this is your, how much the intake opens. Yes, that's what's happening. I think it's sealing it on the bottom end, which is a good thing. Yeah. Yeah, so you can hear the diaphragm in here firing. That's what we're hearing. All right. I'm not going to bother putting a water pump on it. until I put water in. There's no reason to put that apparatus hanging off the side. I say we need to get spark back on it. And I think we're going to dribble a little bit of a 2-stroke oil. Good dream. Let's go give it a little bit of a fighting chance. This actually helped things too. Oh yeah. All right. That sounds good actually. Spark, that's what we're working on. All right, so the last thing on the list, well, I wouldn't say the last thing, but anyway, the last thing that was greatly hurting its run capacity was the buzz box that is in its early Ford. Comments came up from Rob. Rob spoke up about the coil. You could hear it not sounding right. Although it was making spark, it wasn't making the kind of spark it should make. And they figured the capacitor was bad. Quite a few people said that also, that the capacitor in it should be bad. And a bunch of air gaps were off. So anyway, Rob took this and rebuilt it. And I actually made a video of it. I'll put a link to his video of this if you want to see that. He put a new cap in it. The one that was in there, somebody had already changed, but it wasn't quite the right one. He put a different one inside here and did a bunch of work setting up the air gaps and getting everything to operate correctly like it should. And then test it afterwards. You can see the difference, big difference between the spark as it started and the spark when it was done. So my hats off to Rob for taking on that project and getting that part of it taken care of. So I really appreciate that. He also, there's another project in the works that I have to get on, but I'll leave that for another day. So we need spark. This thing has contacts on the outside of the body, three places that somebody modified or created a mount for the side of this engine, and it pretty much just kind of goes in and rubs on those contacts, picks the power and the output. The input and the output from different areas are already on the box. So that gets slid in. There's a couple of shims that have to go on there. And then I gotta figure out how to wire it again. And he set it up for 6 volt. Let me see what I have for 6 volt. I ran it 12. As far as I understand, you can run these things anywhere from 6 to 24. So I'm gonna try matching what he had though if I can. Let me get that set up and I'll bring you back. It just has a piece of like spring steel on the back. Got a curve to it. As you push in, it holds tension on it. Wiring. So this is the make or break contacts coming off the flywheel. So that's a signal to fire. I would say that is probably hot. And I would say this was probably ground back to the block. That was probably under there. Probably. And I think we're ground on this side, power on that side, and I think that's what it is. Possibly it's reversed, but I have a feeling it's going to work either way. Alright, so I got a power supply. I don't know if it's going to have enough snot to run the coil, but we're going to find out. So, this is our hot. And our ground is... I'm going to send our ground. That's already in. Let's move that. There you go. Okay. Guess we have power. Let's see what that coil does. All I gotta do is rotate the crank to where the points complete the circuit. Does that mean? Let's try. Reversing the polarity. It's yapping to the bench, that's what's happening. That was funny. What the hell is getting me? Big idiot. Bench is metal. Let's go see what we get now. There we go. Now we got it like we should. Yeah, what tickles? That's what tickles. I'll straighten your hairs out. All right, let's go get some fuel or something and figure out what make this thing make a bunch of smoke. So the piece of tape is just saying when those 2 points line up and it has spark. So whatever way you're spinning it, so if you're spinning it clockwise, that's going to be after top to the center that it's firing. And it won't kick back. You wouldn't want to start it in that area because the piston will be going up and then firing before it's all the way up and having a chance of kicking backwards. So it has adjustable. I'm not quite sure where it's going to want to run decent, whether it's really advanced or I think when you kind of have them dialed in, you're about pretty close to top center. And also you can adjust the speed with it too, the speed of the engine, how fast it runs by advancing and retarding the spark. What are we doing? I'm just gabbing. We are wanting to go dump a little bit of fuel in it, and I got a coupler to hook up to a drill because, just because. And maybe we'll dribble a little bit of fuel down the plug hole, we'll fire it off and make sure that we are at least in the realm of hooking the rest of the fuel system up, and we can actually make it do something maybe. Down and slow. Does this have a fast and a slow? Oh yeah! A little bit of fuel, put that plug in here, give her a spin. Think I'll do anything? Might get a pop out of it. Spark. Make sure our drill's going the right way. Why do I question that? Find out. Good. Blows smoke rings. It's all cleared out now. Let's turn spark off. Do it one more time. I don't know if that was just a whole bunch of stuff left behind in the crankcase that it made a fire off of that. It seemed like I ran a lot for the little squirt that went in it, you know? Good. Better sign it last. That probably ran the best out of it's had so far. And spark. Give it more air. I gotta fix my tool. Plus we're done screwing around. Done blew out my tool. Good. Kill the spark. Let's go get a fuel system hooked up. See if we can get it run off of that and run and idle, all that kind of happy stuff. Woohoo! I think we're set to go. Cut the socket back and cut the face off and cut the notch back down lower. The fuel, we're running a super rich mix set up in here. I think we're about 12 to 1, maybe a little bit less than that. And spark is on the floor. Get it out of our way, along with some of the other cords and everything. And our fuel setup is going to be filling it through that piece of hose, and then we can kind of see where it is. I seem to remember that carb, lack of a better term, is dripping on us in the float bowl area, but we'll have to deal with whatever we have to deal with, right? Let's go throw some fuel in it. Let's go put you in a stand and spin it with a drill. Yank the wire off. There's so many things you could turn. I don't know what does what yet. It's closer to idle than normal. Getting there. I tried to slow it down with the timing. I think it was flooded out. It had to clear out. I think the cylinder's holding up. You want to take a peek on the other side? You kind of see what I'm dealing with. I should fill the fuel line up again too. Yeah, it was out of gas. That would do it. That's what we get now. I think that's the main one. That's a tickler. Supposed to dump a little bit of gas in it. See if that did anything for us. Yep, wrong way. I would definitely say it's flooded. I think we have the opposite problem. That's where we need to open that drain up and let that block drain out. Let's pull that plug out. See what it looks like. Put a thumb over it. See if it decided to give up the ghost. Not bad. Nah, we're good. Yeah, I think we got to take that drain, crack it loose, let the block clear out, and try it again. That's an easy out I shoved in there. See how easy it comes out. Ah, not bad. Oh yeah. At a leak. That's why it's there. Plus, you know, I think the carb might leak right through, and I wonder if it just pisses in and fills up the cylinder. The mixer, you should call it. Yeah, that was a tad bit. Sparks off, plugs out. I'm going to spin it just to kind of clear it out. Maybe. Alright, reset, try it again. Lost spark. The plug could be valved. We're going to light it off, right? Literally. New plug. See what that does. It's out of gas now. Cool. Getting more on what we need to dial in. I think the problem what we're bouncing off of now is just that there's no cooling system on it, so I don't want to go much more runtime than that. But I think it'll actually run. Unfortunately, I'll bring it back in a second. Let me turn the fan off. Hey, that's better. I can breathe too. Finally got an exhaust fan set up, so it makes life a lot easier. So I was saying, I don't want to overheat the top end any more than what I already did, so I don't want to really run it much more than this. I can keep kind of playing with it, trying to dial it in, but until I get a constant fuel supply and then coolant going around it was going to kind of maintain a certain temperature, then it's going to be a little hard to dial in. So I also want to give it its best fighting chance for the top end to survive, and having it not overheat would definitely be an improvement with that. But I'm psyched. It'll run. I think once we, again, when summertime, it's a problem right now, is dead of winter. To run this thing, set it up in a barrel and work with all that, it's just the wrong time of year. So maybe during the summertime, we'll come back to this again and we'll hook water up to it, try to dial in the last little bits, and we'll actually let it run for a little bit. And we'll see what happens to that. We'll pop the cylinder, maybe back off again, see what happened. But that's in the future. But for now, I'm happy with the results of that. It worked out pretty good. I want to thank Rob for hooking me up with the coil, take care of that, and the plugs. It was not the plug that was an issue. So this is the check valve right here, and it allows how much of an air fuel charge to come in to the bottom of the cylinder. You can kind of regulate that by the dial that's on top of it for how much or how little that piston's allowed to open up. Well, I had it down all the way, so it was just literally starving for air. I had shut it off thinking I would clear the system out, but what happens is you're just cupping your hand over the intake, so nothing's coming in. So I cracked that loose. It kind of cleaned itself out a little bit, and then it fired off again once it got to a decent air fuel mix. So again, all stuff for in the future, but I'm happy with it. It idled. Before, it would just run and rev out of control. You couldn't control anything with it. So I think what was happening before, maybe the compression was so low, or the charge going through it was so low that it would only run on higher RPMs, because that's only when it made enough compression to fire, and or the spark was so weak in the same scenario. So that's my guess. You're welcome to add your comment down below nicely. And let me know what you think. I like to get to the point too where we can kind of like almost let it shut down, go to neutral, and then bump it backwards and get it to fire the other direction without stopping it and starting it. There's a video of that getting done on these too. So that's cool. 110-year-old engine, still chugging along with all its poor battle scars that it's got. Yeah. All right, so maybe again in the summertime we'll revisit it and play with it a little bit more. But again, thanks Rob, thanks Terrell for the putty, and you guys, I will see you soon. Later. Bye. Now let's try it. Come on. Come on. What am I, an asshole? Yeah, thing's a piece of shit. You have a power button.